The Business Owners Podcast is brought to you by Business, Business, Business and Enova Group with your hosts, Linda Reed Enevar and Clive Enevar. In each episode, we talk to other business owners about their experiences, challenges and successes. We'll also share tips and advice on how to grow your business and achieve your goals. If you're a business owner or you're thinking about starting a business, then the Business Owners Podcast is for you.
Hi everyone, Linda Reed Enevar. We're going to dive into 5 common PR mistakes that I see made by business owners quite often when they're starting their journey within PR. Now, as a publicist and a marketing strategist coach, I want to help you avoid these mistakes. So let's delve into these 5 mistakes. Now, if you've made any of them, don't feel bad. It's time to refine the game and make sure that you're putting your best foot forward in relation to PR and making sure that you reach out to the journalists in the right way so that you've got the chance of being a trusted source that's being reached out to by the media again and again. So the first mistake that we see quite often is not having a clear PR strategy. Now, we dive more into PR strategies in the book of PR tips, also within the How to Write a Media Release course about what needs to go into those plans along the way. But without a strategy in PR, it's easy to get sidetracked. What do you actually want to achieve from the PR campaign is the first thing we need to put into that strategy. Now, if it's sales, we maybe need to be looking at advertising. If it's boosting brand awareness, then it's a go ahead for a PR campaign because PR isn't a direct boost to sales. It's more about brand awareness and brand outreach throughout that process. The next thing we need to think about is our target audience. We don't want to do a spray and pray approach to working with the media. We want to be working with journalists who are likely to write our story and have our target audience within mind. So if we don't look at our target audience, we don't do the research on the podcasts they listen to, the publications they read, the news that they might intake, where they get their information from, then our campaign can often fall flat because we just haven't targeted the campaign to the right people in the first place. And then we're looking at our key messages. So what's the key message that we wish to communicate about our business or about our product or about that upcoming event to our target audience? What makes it unique and why would people be interested in knowing about it? So we want to make sure that we have a selection of maybe 5 or 10 key messages that we're going to put together before we delve into our press release and our PR campaigns. The second mistake that I see so often when it comes to business and PR is not pitching stories that are newsworthy, because there's this free PR buzz out there, which I disagree with because personally PR takes your time or a publicist's time. And they pitch stories to sell their products or to sell their services, and the story has no newsworthy angle to it. And then it ends up on the cutting room floor of the journalist, and the journalist just goes, oh God, these guys are just spamming me all the time. I do not want to see this spam coming through. So we want to focus on making sure that we've got a newsworthy story. So timely stories are the ones we want to focus on first. Journalists are more likely to cover stories that are happening now or will be happening in the near future. Now, when we talk about timely, we also need to be thinking that 90 to 120 days ahead of time to give them time to know that they can run their story in a publication, especially if you're looking for print, magazines, newspapers, those sorts of things. We want to make sure that when we're looking at newsworthy, we were pitching stories that are relevant to our target audience. Because by doing that, we give the journalist a story that their target audience is going to find interesting and informative along the way. We want to focus on stories that are unique and interesting. The why behind what we did between something, the human interest angle, the heartstrings that we can possibly go through along the lines. And the other thing about not pitching a newsworthy story is quite often people provide the journalists with war and peace. They don't have a huge amount of time. This is a deadline-driven business. So making sure that you are concise, you're keeping that press release to one page, you're getting to the point and you're providing key quotes from key stakeholders when you're using PR as part of your journey. Now, here are just a few newsworthy examples that we've come up with to help you along the way so you can get a bit of an idea about what you would be pitching in newsworthy. It might be a new study that reveals something about a particular topic, or it might be your thoughts on that new study and how that particular topic might affect your industry. It could be a new product or service, and why is it innovative, unique, and what is the game changer? So that's when you can do a product campaign and you can talk about the why behind it. Not so much the product itself, but the why behind it, especially if that new product or service solves a common problem. That's giving newsworthy. Now we've got to pique someone's interest, or it could be a gift that would work well for a gift guide or something unusual along those ways. Now, the next one is businesses that are doing something different or disruptive. If you're changing the game out there, the media want to know about it because it's new, it's interesting, and it's different, and it's disruptive, and it's going to get people's interest. Share that story with the media. Awards and recognition, if you've done well, especially local media, they love the local person did well. And then the final one, just in our newsworthy ideas for you, is a significant event or development within the industry in which your company operates, and how is it going to affect your industry or the people you serve along the way. Your thought leader comments on those stuff are newsworthy, and that sees you as a trusted source from a journalist's point of view. Mistake number 3 that we see along this one is not making relationships with journalists. Quite often we see people going in and they straight pitch my story. They haven't talked about the journalist. They haven't followed the journalist. They haven't seen what type of story they write or whether their release even fits their target audience. So make relationships with the journalists. Follow them on social media is the first step. Get a bit of a feel for what they write for. And when you do pitch to them, especially if you're pitching directly to a journalist, talk about how you find that story relevant to their target audience and the offer and the value that you're going to bring along the way. Number 4, it's a big one. It happens with all things in marketing, not following up with the journalist to make sure, especially if you know they've read your press release or your campaign, not following up the press release and finding out, was it of interest? What could you have done different next time if they needed it? Did they need more lead time? Those sorts of things. The other thing about not following up is if the journalist asks you something, follow up quickly in a timely manner. They're on a deadline. They need that information from you today, not tomorrow, and most probably within the next hour, not within the next couple of hours, to be able to put that story together. And number 5 is not tracking our results. So like in all things marketing, PR needs to be tracked. We need to track. We sent the press release out. We put it on these submission sites. What were the results? What did we get along the way? Because by tracking that information, we can see if PR is a strategy that's working for us, or we might be better investing our time in other avenues and games along the way. PR is not free. PR takes your time, or it takes a publicist's time, or it takes someone in your team's time to do. So we want to make sure that we are tracking those results along the way. Thank you for joining me. If you're looking for more PR tips, the book of PR tips is there to guide and help you along the way. There are also courses in the Enova Group Business Academy, how to write a media release, newsworthy moments in business, and how to create an available for interview profile, all designed to help you along the journey. Until next time, like, subscribe, follow. Let me know if any of these PR tips have helped you along the way, and are happy reaching out to the media. Remember, it's a relationship, not a speed date. So make sure that you create the right foundations to work with the journalist long term.
Thanks for listening to the Business Owners Podcast. We encourage you to connect with us on social media and join our community of business owners at businessbusinessbusiness.com.au.